Hi, this is Miss Soul. I just wanted to explain the homework myself this time. So I want you to remember to put your name on the paper. Make sure that it's nice and neat. Your name, not my name. Then I want you to go ahead and put the date. Today's date is 10/24/23. Then I want you to look at the example. So 5 times 10 equals 50. 5 ones times 10 equals 5 tens. So notice how they put 5 in the ones column. And you know that we've talked about this before. Every time you move to another place on the place value chart, you are really multiplying by 10. So therefore, 5 ones times 10 is equal to 5 tens. At first, they were 5 ones. When you multiply them by 10, now there are 5 tens. So let's take a look at one. We will do this one together, and then you can try the next one. Draw place value discs and arrows as shown to represent each product. So I know that 5 times 100 is 500. But how do I show that on the place value chart? I show it by starting with 5. Here I have 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And when I take that 5 and I multiply it times 10, it's now going to scoot the 5 over to this column, which is the 5 tens. And then that's the first one. But as you can see, we multiply by 10 a second time. So let's multiply by 10 again. And that's going to move these 5 over to the hundreds column. So now we have 500. So 5 times 10 times 10, of course, is equal to 5 hundreds. So 5 1 it's actually equal to 50 tens. Okay, I'm going too fast here. So at first it's 5 times 10 and 50 tens. And we all know that 50 tens is therefore equal to 5 hundreds. So at first you had 5 ones. If we were doing this the long way, you would have another 10 columns of 5 ones, and then after you did all that, then you would have 5 tens. We don't want to make all those dots. I know that you know once you multiply times 10, it becomes, it goes to the next place value. So now that we've done that one together, the next one, continuing along with the 5s, imagine if we take this same information and now we're going to scoot it over to the thousands place. So you try it. And then you can press pause, try it on your own, and then see if you got this in class. Okay, now that you are back, many of you in class today did understand that that's 5,000, and you understood that going over 3 place values, if you start with 5 in the ones, and then you scoot over times 10, you're going to end up with 5 in the tens place. And then if you scoot over another 10, you are multiplying by 10 again, you're going to end up with 5 in the hundreds. And then one more time, you want to multiply by 10 again, and you will scoot these 5 over to the thousands place. So 5 times 10 times 10 times 10 is a lot. So it doesn't matter what you put here. You could put 5 times 10 times 10 is 50. You can put 500 tens, because it's actually 500 tens. You can put 50 hundreds, because it is 50 hundreds. And we ultimately know that 5 ones times 1,000 is 5 thousands. And let's write the number in here so that you can see exactly what I'm talking about. If we put the 5,000 here, then 5,000 is the same thing as 50 hundreds. It's the same thing as 500 tens, and it's the same thing as 5,000 ones. And the point of this lesson today was simply to get you used to understanding how place value works with multiplication. Everything that is a whole number is working with the multiplication, and you're filling in the blanks. So for your homework, same concept applies. You have to do these two, number 1, number 2, and then you also need to complete number 3 for homework. And when you get on the back side of your homework sheet, it is asking you to do the same thing, additional practice, except this time it's with starting out with telling you like 110 and 5 ones is 15, 110 and 7 ones is 17. So you would start with different numbers in the place value chart. Let's take a look and see if we can do it. So number 4 on the back is 15 times 10. So 110 and 5 ones. I'm going to put 110 and 5 ones. Okay. And when I multiply times 10, I am multiplying all of it times 10. So let's start with these 5. When I multiply them times 10, they are now going to be over here, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now they are 5 tens instead of 5 ones. And then this one right here started off here, and we're going to multiply that times 10, and we're going to put it over here. So it started out as 110, and now it's 100. So with our new movement, we have a 1 in the hundreds place, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the tens place. And we have nothing left in the ones place. So the answer is 150. So 1 10 and 5 ones times 10 is equal to 105 tens, which is 150. Excuse me. And that's how you complete that part of the assignment. At the bottom, it's asking you to decompose each multiple of 10, 100, or 1,000 before multiplying. If you would like to try it first, you can press pause here and see how you do. I'm going to press pause and get some water. Okay, I'm back. So it's asking you to decompose, or basically break down. Decompose is when things break down. This is a science word. If you are multiplying 2 times 80, it's asking you to notice that 80 is the same thing as saying 8 times 10. So if 80 is the same thing as saying 8 times 10, then instead of keeping that together, I can multiply the 2 times 8 and make that 16. So then I'm multiplying that times 10 because it's easy. If I'm multiplying the 16 times 10, according to my handy dandy little place value chart, multiplying times 10 means that all I'm going to do is take this and scoot it over and take this and scoot it over. So now I have the 6 in this column and the 1 in this column. So 16 times 10 is 160 because I have nothing in the ones column anymore because I multiplied it by 10. And the 1 that I had in the 10 column, I had one little old 10 and I multiplied it by 10. So now I have 100. So it's asking you to decompose. Go ahead and try and see if you can do the next one. Okay, so the next one to review, you had 2 times 400. It's asking you to decompose the 400. So 400 is the same thing as saying 10 times 40. And if you wanted to decompose that anymore, you could even switch them up. With the 40 over here, you could do 2 times 40 times 10. You could do 2 times 4 times 10 times 10. Because 10 times 10 is equal to 100. And 100 times 4 is the original number 400. So you would have 2 times 4 times 100. And then you could break that 100 down to 10 times 10. So you know that you're going to move that place value chart over twice. So now that we've done that, we can multiply the 2 and the 4 to get 8. And we can multiply the 10 and the 10 to get 100. And then 8 times 100 is 800. Now, I know when I was in school, we just did 400 times 2, and then we just multiplied like that. And we had no real understanding of why the place value changed. We had no real number sense of why. We just followed the directions. But even if someone had explained that 2 times 0 ones is 0 in the ones place, 2 times 0 tens is 0 in the tens place, and 2 times 4 hundreds is 8 hundreds in the hundreds place, I would have understood it better. Just makes sense. So go ahead and finish the last 2. You can do the best that you can. It's always good to practice, try new things, and remember you can do hard things, and you are worth your best effort. See you tomorrow.